How much do someone's political views matter when it comes to casual dating, and why? What's the difference between casual dating and dating? We don't need to share every single belief, but we do need to share the same values and worldview. Political views of many people reflect their core values, and it is also important to consider how opposing views they have to mine. The older I get, the more I understand the big picture. Someone's political views stem from their view of the world, and people tend to gravitate towards someone of the same political leaning. If beliefs were at odds with my partner, it would cause extra tension, not because they vote differently, but because those beliefs would bleed into every tiny decision in our lives, and I don't think they would ever get where I'm coming from. I wouldn't feel truly heard or understood, and that would eventually be too much for me. I see a lot of debate around American politics on this post-lol. Seriously though, if someone has fundamental beliefs which would impact the way you live, the way you'd raise children, or views on whether or not they'll have any, the role different people have in society, and basically any life choice, it's better to know that your beliefs are incompatible while it's still casual. Relationships require compromise to work, but we all have things we will not compromise. I think the answer to this question really depends on whether or not you are meaning casual dating as a euphemism for hooking up for sex. What do you do when your whole family is full of Trump supporters and you are not? My father sends me more right-focused political emails than I typically get in text, call spam from solicitors. I emailed him back after a couple weeks of it saying, "Hello. I'm having trouble finding your unsubscribe button on any of the previous emails you've sent me. Please take me off your list." That shut him up. Oof. I wish I could sit and read this whole thread. I butted heads with my family for years over this. I honestly don't even remember how I started caring so much. I don't remember caring about politics at all prior to 2016. I remember laughing at and even cheering on Trump in the 2016 primary. Then I went home. I don't remember what started it. All I remember is there was an alcohol-fueled discussion about politics, and all I remember is my dad suddenly saying, "Yeah, well, you're a liberal fuck who has been indoctrinated by liberal fucking universities," and I was like, whoa, uncalled for. At that point I think we were discussing Obama, and the sentiment they were conveying was that he was driving the economy and the country into the ground, when the data said the exact opposite. Unemployment down, economy up, stock market up. Flat denial from my family. Why were they denying basic numbers? I didn't get it. But then it made sense when my family started referring to Obama as that N______R who took all my money. Returning to my hometown in 2015-16, people started being less shy about wearing their racism on their sleeves. People were saying things like, "Thank God for Trump," unironically. It was a weird time, and suddenly Trump got less funny for me. But being labeled and scorned by my family for an offhanded criticism I made of the current Republican narrative at the time had really gotten to me. Hindsight 2020. I shouldn't have let it. I quickly became the black sheep in the family. I was blamed personally for my family's financial struggles. Mind you, I didn't vote until 2016. My younger brother constantly fueled the flame and egged my dad on about how liberals and by extension his eldest son are the source of his financial troubles. I hated talking politics with my family at that point, mostly because they would just talk at me and hope that I responded so they could jump down my throat about being a liberal cuck or whatever. Most of the time I didn't respond. The times I did push back, I saw dark sides of my family that I didn't know existed. "You'll vote for who I tell you to. I raised you. I paid for your education. You owe me. You're young and naive. One day you'll understand. Your younger brothers who lived at home with my parents and were either jobless or semi-functional human beings at the time, are way ahead of you. They already get it. Quote, you make less than $100,000. You don't matter. Once you have a real job, you'll start seeing it the way we do. Clearly you don't understand that you need to vote for whoever puts the most money in your pocket. Proceeds to improperly describe marginal tax rates. The most hurtful, unprovoked comment came again from my dad in 2020. Just diagnosed with terminal cancer. I've worked hard for everything I have in my life. I earned it all. Fuck you liberal fucks. Pointing at me. Who think I don't deserve everything I've earned in life? Quote, many derogatory comments about women, healthcare, LGBTQ. How many fucking letters are in it these days? Quote, I stopped engaging altogether shortly before the 2020 election. I have a PhD in virology. I fought my whole family over COVID bullshit. I finally broke through on that front somewhat. Because I kept being right. But nowhere else politics-wise. I'd like to think I made amends with my dad before he passed earlier this year. He was still so proud of me. Despite our differences. And proud of his granddaughter. I barely speak to my brother. He's done irreparable damage to our relationship. And he's claimed it's all because of politics. I'm not sure I believe him. I think he's just a shitty person. He's gone behind my back and tried to destroy my relationships with each and every family member. He still says unhinged shit even though he knows I won't engage. The sad part is, these people just want to belong. They are Trump supporters because their friends, family, and neighbors are Trump supporters. They want to be with the in crowd. If you aren't drinking the Kool-Aid, you become an outcast real quick. They don't know the ins and outs of Trump's policies or accomplishments, failures. You just need to be able to repeat enough of the simple arguments and one-liners to pass as a supporter. And dismiss anyone who questions you as a liberal cuck. All they know is, Trump is our guy. Because everyone says he's our guy. And he's going to continue being our guy until everyone starts saying he's not our guy. Edit. Quotes added. I've found that, agreeing with them works surprisingly well. For example, I met a friend of a friend that's very pro-Trump. He stated that he sees nothing wrong with actual Chinese people, it's just the Chinese government that deserves death. Then he went on and on about this rant, saying things like, we should just nuke Beijing, and, the solution to inflation is simple. We just need to bomb the shit out of Chinese cities. Then I jumped in and said, you know what, man? You are 100% correct. We should totally murder millions of innocent civilians and level some of the biggest cities on the planet, just to kill a dozen politicians. I'm sure there will be absolutely zero negative economic, political, or military outcomes from this plan. Then he shut up and didn't talk politics for the rest of the event. I don't care what they are. I care that they think Thanksgiving is for discussing politics. My in-laws tried twice on Thanksgiving and both times I politely told them nobody wants to go on about politics today, so either keep it to yourself or go to another household where they enjoy bickering all night, because I'm not having any of that in my house today. Have you ever seen What We Do in the Shadows? Be an energy vampire. Pick a subject you know a lot about. When the word Trump is spoken, wait, make it seem natural, and insert your topic in all its minutiae. For me, that might be dogs. Did you know Trump had a childhood dog? Quote, all heads turn with great interest. It was a Cocker Spaniel. Did you know Cocker Spaniels were the most popular dog from 1940 to 1949? This surprised me because I thought they became popular because of the movie Lady and the Tramp. But I found out the movie was a result of the popularity. But that just isn't like how I imagined it. If I would have made that movie, I would have made Lady particolored. Did you know that it's possible that a Cocker Spaniel came over on the Mayflower? Quote, everyone has already dispersed. Don't talk about it and tell them not to. If they insist, stay away and tell them why. Subscribe, my brothers.